item on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
I do have some additional, few things, changes to the agenda. Under item 6, third item, be removed. Under item 6, additional agenda deadline.
Also, to schedule our new meeting date, I guess we can just do that under council.
Instead of reorganization.
Well, do you have that on here?
We got monthly meeting schedule.
Oh, you got that there, okay, I didn't see that. Any other additions or deletions? If not, I would entertain a motion.
David, could you add me
Oh, okay.
about the animal shelter?
Do we need to also, Randy, should we add that security committee advisory board?
Yeah, that's gonna be.
Because we'll have one appointment to
Alan
that.
worked that out for the opening, so that's another, just whoever's gonna serve on
Okay,
that, gets what you can do.
that was discussed
Just for
as far as,
information purposes.
yeah, just security advisory board, somewhere below the board appointments, maybe.
We'll put security advisory board.
Uh-huh.
And then we also add Randy with
Animal shelter.
animal shelter. Any other additions? Seeing none?
If there's no additions or subtractions from the agenda, and anyone who wants to speak and signed in, I'll make a motion, we accept the agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Next item is reorganization of our board.
I'll make a motion that Mr. David Agent be our president.
I'll second that.
No, I'm okay with it. Actually, don't need a second for a nomination. It should be a nomination, but I will. I guess at this time we can take a vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Who made the first and who made the second? I missed that.
Keith and Paul. Motion carries. I vote for myself, 7-0.
Shows confidence.
I appreciate the job you're doing, Dave.
I do too.
The next item is the 2023 monthly.
Vice President.
Oh, sorry about that.
Vice President.
Next, I would call for a nomination to elect a vice president.
Keith.
I guess we don't have to have a second.
You said we didn't.
Any other nominations?
I'd rather see Earl myself. She's got experience.
So we have 2 nominations. Do I have any other nominations?
Oh, let's seek her out.
We can.
I mean, I don't.
Huh?
I thought it's just.
Okay, at this time, I guess we will vote on all those in favor. Earl, signify by raising your right hand.
Earl?
3. All those in favor of Keith?
Yes, I'll give you vote for yourself.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
I didn't vote.
You didn't vote.
Did you vote for yourself?
I didn't vote for myself.
Well, that's 3 and 3 then. That's a tie.
Guess we'll
Well,
vote
no,
for vice
vote
president.
again.
If Erla votes for herself, then
No.
it's 4 to 3.
I know, if she votes.
Can you break the tie?
Well, I did, I already voted.
He's already voted.
I'll vote for Keith.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
4 for Keith, 3 for Earl. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Keith.
buddy.
The next item is the approval of minutes from August 25th.
We're gonna talk about when we're gonna have our meetings first.
Oh, I guess we need to. Our 2023 monthly meeting schedule. In the past, we have met on the 4th Thursday at 5 o'clock, and with special meetings whenever. So I don't know if that works for everybody. I would like to see us probably continue on that schedule.
It's worked well in the past.
Yeah, everybody's gotten used to it.
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we continue to have them the fourth Thursday at 5 o'clock.
I'll second.
With specials,
Specials and special
exceptions
times.
to specials. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Now we have the minutes. August the 25th, 2022.
Did they email them to us?
Yes.
I didn't get them, I don't think.
Joint meeting, September 22nd, 2022. Public hearing, September 22nd, 2022. October 24th, 2022, November 17th, 2022, and December 15th, 2022, which is our last meeting. I hope everybody's had a chance to read those.
I think there was one in October that's missing.
We got one for the 24th.
I thought y'all had one when I was in the hospital the week before that I didn't attend.
I'm not sure, we'll have to check on that. If not, then we'll have to approve those, if there is such a thing.
You want to take them all together, or you want to take them?
Might as well take them all
I
together,
say
they're so
together.
old.
I just saw one typo, it's not that big a deal, on the minutes of the December 15th meeting, where I abstained on voting, and just a typo with Griffin, you got
Yep.
abstained. So, other than that, everything else looks fine.
Probably spell check.
Spell check, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other changes?
Make a motion, we accept.
Second?
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
I abstain.
Okay, motion carries 5 with 2 abstentions. You could have approved them.
I don't have them, so. I'm
Next, we have Sam Hurst, prosecutor, who is requesting, I think, a new hire for a vacant position.
Please.
I actually have 2 positions currently open. One is a part-time position for a child support administrator. And then the second one was for a full-time, I guess, administrative assistant. After speaking with the people in our office, we think that a full-time child support person is actually necessary and would be a better use of our, I guess,
FTEs.
positions, and, so I don't know if we can do that now or if we can do that later, but that would be my request, is that we hire a full-time person for 40 and use 40 funds that way. I know that there's gonna have to be some moving of the money to be able to do that, but that would be my request, is to,
Is the money gonna balance out? Is it gonna be more money? You gonna be requesting more money?
I won't be requesting more money. I will be requesting money from our regular county general to go into our 4D, and that's actually, I think, better because you get reimbursed
Some of that.
some of that. 66% of actually that is what you'll get back. So that would be my request, is that we able to advertise for one position, and it's a full-time position for 40.
So the other position,
The part-time position, at this time, we're gonna try to make it work without that position. That position's actually being paid, the big portion of it's being paid from our pretrial diversion anyway. And I don't know that our pretrial diversion is robust enough to fund everything that has been budgeted in that, so.
right now, I don't think it is.
It's not. It is not current, there's not enough money in there currently
Right.
to fund everything that's budgeted for it.
How does, Chris, how does that work with what's been appropriated?
So currently, right now, the part-time child support administrator is being paid out of the 4D funding. You will submit that to the state for reimbursement, and you'll get 66% of it. So if she's eliminating, the administrative is paid out of county general
And partially.
and partially pre-child. So you're going to eliminate those line items on those funds, And you're basically just changing the child support administrator from a part-time to a full-time, and you'll submit that for reimbursement to the state, and you'll get 66% of it back.
So it saves the
So-
county some money.
Yes,
and
in
it's
general.
A better use of our office personnel after speaking with everyone in our office today about that.
Is that 66%, is that always received, that amount? I was thinking there.
On the 40,
There's no max topped out limit.
just it's a percent.
Okay. I make a motion that we allow Sam to do what she wants in her office.
So then you'll have 2 full-time child support.
Yes.
So we've already got 1 full-time, so you're basically just gonna go from having 1 full-time and 1 part-time to 2 full-time that you'll submit for reimbursement to the state from 40.
And-
Okay, keep-
And at
oh,
this
go ahead.
time, we won't have a part-time person. If at some point later we need to come back and figure that out, we will, but
Okay. Okay, I think Keith made a motion.
I'll second.
And Stan second. Any other discussion? If not, I would ask for a vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
And then what about advertising for that? I think normally we have to do it for 6 weeks, is that accurate? Oh, we just have to do it for 2? Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Just email that information, we'll get it on the website.
Okay, thank you.
Next, we have Christina Hammock, auditor. Looking revised salary ordinance.
Yes, okay, so I want to talk about the salary ordinance that was the 2023 salary ordinance that was done up after the budget. I want to kind of explain a few things because we've run into some controversy between the Perry County job description book and the personal policy handbook, okay? In each of those handbooks, positions are either listed as excluded, which is your elected officials' salaries, where they get no overtime, no time compensation, and no timesheets required. Then you have your exempt salary positions to where they are no overtime, no time compensation, and no timesheet required. Then you have your non-exempt, which are hourly positions that can be awarded overtime or time compensation, and timesheets are required. So those are the 3 that you have. In doing so, based off of the salary ordinance that everyone did, you've got everybody based off of a salary. And that's incorrect, because you can't have hourly positions being paid. If they're in a non-exempt, they're hourly, they're not salary. And payroll has been done based off of biweekly salaries, and that's incorrect, because it's actually more work on your payroll, because they have to adjust times, because not all of your hourly people are going to be working the hours to be paid, so she's having to go in and adjust all that. Plus, it ran into a lot of confusion. Just to clarify a few things, 2022 salaries were paid out on December 18th's pay, okay? But your hourly, non-exempt people received pay on January 2nd for time worked December 4th through December 18th. Some of your exempt and salary positions were thinking, because I've received several phone calls, I did not get paid, you are a salary position. Your salary for 2022 ended on December 18th. They were thinking, I think there just needs to be more clarity in this salary ordinance, because elected officials' first pay for 2023 was January 2nd, and their salary is divided by 26 pays. There's no timesheet required. Your pay is just divided by 26. So when I was going through things, the Perry County job description, for example, we've got 3 of them. The Community Corrections Director. In the job description, book, it shows them as exempt. In the personal policy handbook, it lists them, hold on, and she's not here, lists them as non-exempt, okay? Those are two different things, so I need to know which one are they. The same thing for the chief probation, or the public health nurse. It shows them as exempt in the job description book, but in the personal handbook, it shows them as non-exempt. Chief probation and probation officers are shown as non-exempt in the job description. In the policy handbook, and they need to be listed, or they're listed as exempt, which they should be exempt because the state mandates what the probation officers are paid, so they should be salary, not hourly. The last confusing part with the salary ordinance is first deputies. First deputies in the job description are listed as excluded, which would be a salary, which they should not be receiving overtime or time compensation and no timesheet required. They are currently turning in timesheets and being awarded compensation like a non-exempt. So, if you guys, I know the old salary ordinance had everyone listed as a salary. I need some clarity on that as far as how it should be, because it's conflicting. So I think we need to go through these 4 positions, and I need to be told how they're supposed to be considered. Does that make sense? Okay.
Are these the only 4 that you've run into, Chris?
No, we just had controversy with outgoing elected officials
Okay.
thinking that they should have pay in 2023, which is not the case.
Okay.
So these are the only 4 positions. With that, a lot of these, the non-exempt on the salaries, you know, like I said before, they were listed as a salary, a biweekly salary, which is inaccurate. So each position has a budgeted amount, okay? So what we have done is take that budgeted amount and get their hourly rate as close to whatever that salary was. So if it was a $33,000 salary listed as what was approved for the budget, we got that hourly rate as close to 33 without going over. So they're not going to be paid. So if we budgeted 33,000 for first deputies, they're not going to make exactly 33,000, because there's no way for us to hit 33,000 for an hourly rate exactly on that. But we took that and got the hourly rate as close to 33 without going over. So they need to be non-exempt or hourly, excluded, and exempt or salary. So that's how they need to be listed on the salary ordinance.
And should we not, State Board of Accounts requires that you have
Yes.
a separate for hourly and
Yes, this is what was
salary?
brought to our attention by our software LAO, because they actually sent out, because there was a lot of counties that were in this air, the fact that you need to differentiate between excluded, exempt, and non-exempt. And we had everybody listed as a salary, even our non-exempt. So this is a State Board of Accounts requirement. Our 2023 ordinance just wasn't in compliance. And then once we got to looking into this, I was trying to pull with Kelly the personnel handbook and the job descriptions, and that's where I found the conflict of one book says one thing, the other book says the other thing. So
those 4 positions are actually salary.
So probation, and the probation, basically because the state mandates, we'll talk about probation first, the state mandates how much you're supposed to be paid based on their education and years of service and whatever, so yes, they should be exempt. But I'm just bringing to your guys' attention that in the job description book, it shows them as non-exempt. In the personal handbook, it shows them as exempt. So I just need to know which one you want me to go by. The public health nurse, has she been turned in compensation? No. The public health nurse, I thought so, in the job description, do we want to handle each of these at one time, so I keep having to repeat myself? Go about them. So are we good on the probation, that they need to be exempt?
Yes, I think so.
Probation exempt? So that just needs to be a motion to change that in the job description, because they're listed as non-exempt in the job description.
Do I have a, I entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'd like to abstain. I don't have any of these documents. or-
Motion carries
any of that.
6 with 1 abstention.
The public health nurse, in the job description, she's listed as exempt, which would be salary, but in the personal handbook, she's listed as a non-exempt, and she has been turning in comp time. The difference between an exempt is you're not granted any overtime or comp time, so it needs to be either, at a salary, I would think of a public health nurse should be exempt, or if you want her at the non-exempt to be able to do comp time.
Yeah.
So the company that we hired to do our job descriptions, wasn't they supposed to look at the handbook and compare this, like Chris found out, that we hired the county paid for?
Urban Wagner, there's the stakes, and I've written both of them.
They should have.
How did we handle with all the COVID, the overtime they had last year?
That was the commissioners. They gave them some sort of special,
They gave them comp time.
She is,
pay.
I have a correction on public health nurse. She is listed as exempt in both books, but she is currently turning in comp time. So therefore, she should be not turning in comp time.
that was something the commissioners did during COVID, and I don't think they ever lifted it or what.
I wasn't involved,
I
but
know.
I know there was funding that came in to pay for overtime. If I remember correctly, they allowed the health department to get the overtime, use that funding to pay them. It's another area of this these wages. I think there's a bunch of them hanging out here. And we went through this once before. If someone leaves, then all of a sudden we need to pay them out. We don't have the funding to hire the new one to take on the duties if we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah,
if
that
happens.
comp time had been looked into and it had been adjusted, and then during COVID,
They
I
were
just
paying
need to
them.
know how to go forward in 2023, because based on being exempt, she should not get vacation time, and she should not get comp time. So I just need to know,
I think she's exempt.
okay.
David, has
Yes.
she always, has that position always got comp time?
Well-
I don't
think
know.
Sarah did.
I mean, it only was brought to our attention when all the COVID hit. And
They
they were
maybe-
working all those hours.
I think maybe they were allowed comp time,
During
but then,
COVID, I would understand.
then they had to use it within 2.5 months or something of the year in, or you lost it.
Yeah.
But
I
at
think
least
there needs
they've
to
been
be-
able to carry it forward.
There needs to be a cap, and then it also needs to be a length of time that you can carry it.
I'm not sure why, if you're exempt, why you're getting comp
If
time.
you're
Yeah, I
exempt, you
agree
shouldn't
with you,
get it, I
David.
agree.
Yeah, Kelly says there is a length of time that, which, that they
Is there?
had to use that. I'm not aware, I wasn't here.
There's like, it's by
Kelly, is
March
that
15th
even
or
for the health
something.
department? Because I think they allowed
No,
the health department.
is kind
A
of
whole
free right
separate-
now.
Yes.
Yes.
See, then there's
You
another
don't have to
issue there. If they get compensated, they need to be compensated at the rate that they accumulated it at, not at a rate of a higher pay.
That's true.
And generally, department directors are exempt,
Yes.
and workers are non-exempt.
Correct.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it needs to be.
So do we want to list her as exempt and want me to look into the COVID compensation guidelines and see if that's
See,
still in existence?
at that time, they were allowed, they didn't have to, that 2.5 month or whatever
Yeah.
rule did not apply to them.
Right.
They could go on, and they did.
And it has not.
I think we go,
If we change it to exempt right now, what about the comp time she accumulated? We gotta
I
make
don't
it
know.
right.
Well, I mean, if she shouldn't have been accumulating it,
Well,
you know.
Well, it was,
Well, I mean, that,
the
commissioners really
I
haven't
think
never
going forward,
lifted it.
if you're
Right.
exempt, you do not get comp time.
Just for 2023? I mean, we're
Yeah.
starting in 2023. I think
Right.
we
Whatever she's
leave
got,
what was
she
there
needs to
before,
use.
but
She
going
need-
forward for
I
2023.
think we ought to really
It does.
put a time restraint on what would be the, how long can she carry that comp time she's got now? Or do you know, Kelly?
For the health department, there's nothing set. It's up to the commissioners to change that right now.
There's no limit, that's the thing that's hanging out there, is it's fairly substantial.
It could be,
Correct.
it's
Not comp time, but vacation time is
Okay.
right now.
substantial.
And so, it's kind of we need to address it.
Right.
But as far as comp time in general, if you earn it within June to December, you have until the following June to use it.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that
Between
long.
January and June, you have until December to use it.
Okay.
That's how it's set up.
So it's basically 6 months.
I didn't think it was that long.
I think that we need to let her know that she needs to use hers within the next 6 months. And she's not accumulating any more.
Comp time, I don't think she really has anything as far as comp, it's vacation, she doesn't have.
I didn't know we was.
She has like vacation time built up, she's not got comp time built up, so
Is it-
it's just a matter of how we want to do it going forward.
Well, I think with that, we don't have a policy that, as far as carrying vacation time?
The health department, we do, but the health department with COVID was allowed to carry over.
Because they accumulated so much.
Yeah, because they accumulated so much, yeah.
So we need to address that to get it standard among all county employees. Now. whether
Now
we
that
have to
COVID
look
is
at-
somewhat,
Right, hopefully that doesn't happen to us again.
exactly.
Okay.
So leave Mallory is exempt. Okay, do we need a vote on it?
Yes.
Make a motion.
But what she's accumulated though, she has.
She gets,
Yeah.
she's gotta use,
She used.
but she don't get no more.
Okay, Keith made a motion. I have a second.
I'll second that.
Stan second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
David, I abstain. I don't have any of the information.
6 ayes, 1 abstention.
If I don't have it, I don't read it.
The next one is the Community Corrections Director. She's under a grant, but in one, she's listed as exempt, and in the Personnel Policy Handbook, she is listed as non-exempt.
Exempt.
She's a department head, so.
Yeah.
I think she's exempt.
Does she have any time built up?
No.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
A second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
6, 1 extension.
And the last one is the first deputies. Like I said, they're listed as excluded, which, in the job description, which they should not be receiving overtime or time compensation, and no time sheet required. They are listed as non-exempt in the Personnel Policy Handbook, but they are currently turning in timesheets and being awarded time compensation like a non-exempt. So are the first deputies non-exempt?
Well, they are given a salary, right? Or,
No, they're hourly workers.
oh, they are out.
If you're gonna give them a salary, then you can't give them time compensation or overtime, so it's gotta be, but they are listed as excluded, which excluded are typically your elected
Salary.
official salaries.
So they're non-exempt.
They're not exempt.
So first deputies would be non-exempt.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion. I'm sorry.
Owen made the motion, second by Stan. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6 with 1 abstention.
All right, and so then do we want to, the revised salary ordinance basically took, I'll bring that to the next meeting to make that correct with all of these changes. We've already, on that, so I'll bring that to the next meeting.
So you're going to revise this?
Revise, well, this has got the hourlies on there, But these ones that were in conflict,
Oh, okay.
I need to make sure those are correct.
They're revised.
Okay.
Anything else?
On that, that's it. That's one more.
Oh, you do have another one.
Okay, so then my next item to discuss is the administrator position. I brought this to the commissioners this morning in regards to absorbing the administrative duties of the administrator in the auditor's office, which a lot of it has been done there since the resignation of Teresa. A couple things, I have looked at other counties, and there are very few counties in Indiana that actually have an administrators. A lot of them, the work is done by the auditor's office. I had, notes are all scattered. I had kind of went through the administrative duties of that, the administrator duties that were listed in the handbook and also in Teresa's notes. And as far as some of the administrator job duties would be agendas for the commissioners, which, you know, they had approved this morning for that, for the auditor's office to take over those duties on that. What I'm bringing to the council, and I broke these down, most of it will fall on myself and my second deputy. What I am asking the council here is that the administrative salary, including benefits, is $65,005.88. I would like for that salary to come over to the auditor's office in replacement of a salary there of, for my second deputy, and the amount of $62,188.30 will be freed up, where it will save that. We're basically just swapping out those two salaries with taking over those duties, which my second deputy will be assisting me with those. So in the end, it's going to save the county $62,118.30. The makeup I would also, at the budget hearing, the positions in my office were payroll and human resources at a salary of $34,000. It was approved at the budget hearing for claims for my first deputy to go in the claims position, which is my second deputy. That position declined the first deputy duties, so Kelly has taken over the first deputy duties. So with that, bringing that salary over, most of the duties of the administrator rely on myself and that second deputy. So I basically just want to trade out those salaries, if that makes sense.
So just the difference, is that what you're looking for?
Well, you're gonna swap out. So basically, I have a $62,000 and some change, and I'm gonna give you that, and you're gonna give me the administrator salary of $65,000, just swapping them out.
So it wouldn't be okay to do a transfer from the commissioner's budget for what that was already set aside for the administrator?
Okay, say that one more time.
In the commissioner's budget, I guess they have their administrators in a separate fund. You didn't just want to take the difference and slide it over for this year?
So you could just take the difference of the, yes,
Right.
yes,
Okay.
that's the same difference, yeah. It's just transferring that difference, yeah, basically swapping those out, but just making a point that in the end, it's gonna save the county $62,118.30. There's no extra money being allotted.
But we budgeted, what, for administrator, 65,000?
Yeah, yeah.
With benefits.
Then would that go in?
33,000.
The money saved?
The money saved,
Yeah, it will kind of general.
that's where it came from.
That's where it
Yeah,
came from.
Yeah, it'll go back in there.
Mhm.
That's why I was thinking maybe it would just be better to do the transfer of the difference.
The difference of
And
65.
then let that go back into general, and then when we budget next year, we can get it right, you know.
But on paper, yeah, I'd show, I'd have a 34, 34.
But we probably don't want to roll it over into general fund right away until we make sure that it's going to fly.
What is the simplest transaction for you?
Make sure it's all going to work out.
It could wait till.
We haven't we haven't done any funds or anything, activity, I'd say, for 2023 on any of those. It might be better to make an adjustment in Gateway on our budget as far as those position line items where you've got those, to where it's just a starting number, changing those starting numbers.
I'm thinking what you want to do, you already have it budgeted, so we'll transfer 4,000, 5,000, whatever's required, and then just maintain that in that fund until we make sure this all works. Then at budget time, and what it'll do is if we don't, as commissioners, utilize it, it'll revert back to general, and then you'll address it at the budget process in the fall. Take that administrator back away from the commissioners and provide the other funding to their office. But it gives us that cushion for an interim period of time here to make sure that and that's our concern, just to make sure all the duties are carried out. A lot of them have to do with grant applications. We don't want to slip up with that. And we don't want to overburden somebody in the auditor's office with tasks that we haven't.
And with that too, Randy talking about that, good idea to leave some of those funds, because like I said, we're taking on the administrative duties. There's still, like the commissioners meeting this morning, we talked about there's ADA compliance, in the Title 5 and 6 that I'm going to be reaching out to Region 15 and Teresa, because I don't know enough about that. I've not had time to look into it. I can't say that I'm going to be able to. Teresa's super familiar with that we're still going to have to pay funds out of that for a subcontract with those, because those are a little bit more in depth, but at least we can save a position as far as benefits and save money there, but that would come out of the 62,000 that we're saving. So doing the transfer is
It
to
just
leave
gives
some
us
on there.
a little comfort to make sure we got everything in line.
It gives you most flexibility too, doesn't it? Looks like it
Yep,
So David, does the transfer have to be advertised?
yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay.
So once I get the okay for that, I can do that.
Once we
Just
get
do
the
that.
does.
Yeah.
So what kind of motion do you need here?
Motion for the transfer.
Motion for the transfer.
Motion to publicize the transfer.
Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
All's in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And what is the amount of that? Are we doing
You
a
wanna
flat
vote?
amount?
Huh?
You wanna
Yeah, I
vote?
want to vote on that.
7-0.
I have that information.
So are you doing the 4,000, or just doing a flat amount, or just the exact difference?
I'd do the exact difference.
Exact difference, okay.
And I just want to thank you, Chris, for being willing to take on those duties in your office, to take on that in an effort to save the county money. So I appreciate that.
I make the motion.
Did you have anything else, Chris?
No, that was.
What about the agenda deadline?
Agenda deadline, sorry. Just for peace of mind and structure, I know the commissioners brought up that they are having an agenda deadline. I feel that we need to do that for the councils too, just because it sets some order, and where we're not having so many additionals to add.
Okay, we generally meet on Thursday, so what do you need?
So you guys generally, so I'd say the same thing, the previous, they're doing the previous Wednesday, so whatever meeting you have, to have it to me, or.
I'd say Friday at 4
Friday,
o'clock.
by Friday of the Friday of the previous week.
Yeah,
Friday of
correct.
the previous
Yes,
week.
three,
Just where
correct.
we can have a cutoff, we have it with claims, we have it with additionals, let's have it with the agenda as well.
What do commissioners go with?
They went with the previous Wednesday,
I'd like it.
For what,
See that?
Monday?
Keeps it in line for Monday. or
for Monday and
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh, Monday and Tuesday, okay.
Our meeting's on Thursday,
If you had to meet twice a month.
So we would do it Friday for,
That'd be good.
Friday at 4
Thursday.
o'clock.
So, and I'm just curious about that because I'm new, is that, David, you said, since you're the president, you set the agenda, right? You just get all the information to Chris, or?
no. I mean, she gets much of the information from the department heads.
Departments.
So I normally Pam would, contact me probably usually the Friday before and ask if I'd have any additions to the agenda or anything I wanted to add.
I
Or
was under the understanding the president of the commissioners and council set the agenda, but that's
Well-
up to you, I guess.
I-
You don't-
I don't think I want that.
Well.
We could do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the commissioners, we had talked, and I'm going to have the agenda put together and have it approved by the president prior to publication.
Okay.
So if we want to do that way, where
That would be
David
fine.
has the last I before it's publicized.
That's fine.
The main
Kinda
thing
do
is to
that.
have the information,
Yeah.
so we have a chance to review it and can make an educated decision.
Maybe we ought to go on Thursday to where she could get it to us on Friday.
I would like Thursday where I can get it to David by Friday, because I'm not pushing
I think I
to
do want to change my,
Thursday, because then I can get it to David by Friday. That'll give him the weekend to let me know, and then I have Monday to put it together. I know that's 3 days, but I'd rather have a cushion day, because it's got to be publicized 48 hours, and,
I think Thursday would work better because that would give you Friday to get the information together and get it to us also.
I would like that. That's your guys' decision.
Did you make a motion?
I'm changing my motion.
Do we vote on it?
I'll second it if you're okay with
Are
what
you,
say.
are you withdrawing your motion? Or did we
I withdrew the Friday, changing it to Thursday.
Saturday?
Yeah.
KHs, that's not
Let's
going
go
to.
with-
Saturday after the meeting. Saturday after the meeting.
Okay, so he's withdrawing his motion and he's changing it to Thursday by 4 o'clock
4 o'clock PM.
for the meeting of Thursday. A week in advance then, I guess.
Basically, yeah, would be.
What about we have an emergency? I guess we can add it to the agenda.
Emergencies, you can
We
still,
can add
but
it.
I think it's going to limit some of the ads.
Okay, you made that motion? Did I
Made the
say it?
motion. Kelly seconded.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 7-0. Okay. Next, we have council board appointments. What?
Public comment.
Who has a
Oh,
comment?
Sorry, I'm here, so.
You have any comments?
When you throwing Randy in there, where'd you put him at? Randy Cole.
I thought it was at 6, but.
You want to go ahead, Randy, with yours?
It won't take me a second. We just had a commissioners meeting, and this animal shelter and the condition of the building has a lot of gray areas, a lot of things we need to look at. And we just decided, and Chris was advertising it, 48 hours. We're gonna meet up there on Thursday at 1 PM, and then everybody can walk through it, and we'll take a look at it, see what we need to do, what's gonna be required, heating, water, and the whole thing. But we
This
might-
Thursday?
This
This
Thursday at
Thursday.
1 o'clock.
I won't be
So
there.
She put it out, and that gives us 48 hours, and then we can all take a look at it.
So it's a joint meeting between
It's a
council?
joint meeting between the commissioners and council, so we're hoping, I just want to let you know that.
Thank you.
We got comment out there.
Where is this animal shelter you're looking at?
Calton, it's 267.
Where the old one used to be down by the recycling center.
Okay.
I think I used to call it shower curtain factory or something.
They make shower caps.
Yeah.
Okay, the security advisory board.
And you're more than welcome.
Here,
We
we'll
can.
go.
Yeah, it's not a meeting. We get educated.
Yeah, because we don't need to appoint one person.
I'll add that then.
There was once upon a time, there was a board, security board in the past, when they had the incident
So is that
outside.
an internal or external?
That's internal. It's just between us.
We would add to internal then.
The commissioners, well, The commissioners appointed one, correct, on that security board, advisory board?
Randy Cleveland's gonna,
So it's an internal appointment.
yep. It's strictly to work through this. over
Work with the judge and the sheriff.
And making sure we have security.
Okay, we'll continue then with the external board appointments. I prepared a list of council appointments, board appointments by the council, and letters of interest. The first one we have is the Alcoholic Beverage Board. There was a one position, 1-year term, and we have one letter of interest by Mr. Randall McBrayer.
I'll make a motion, we reappoint Randy. He's been on there a few years and seems to be getting the job done.
I want to make a change on that. It's not alcoholic, it's alcohol.
Good catch.
That's a requirement.
It's been the reason, maybe that was the reason I nominated. That's the reason I nominated.
Do I have a second?
I second, Randy.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I need to abstain.
Motion, one
Some
abstention,
blood, isn't it? That's right.
6-0.
Yeah.
Next position is the Animal Welfare Control and Education Board, one position, 4-year term. I think
Who's on that right now?
What,
Who is our appointed right now?
Herbie Landers. We have I guess a requirement is that you be involved or a member of the county animal sporting organization. We have 3 letters of interest that were submitted, Herbie Landers, Tanya Rankin, and Rebecca Thorne.
I'll make the motion, we keep Herbie Landers on there. He's been on there for several years and really involved in it.
I have another motion for Becky.
I'd like to nominate Tanya Rankin.
Tanya don't meet the requirements, does she?
Okay, we got 3 nominations.
Does Tanya meet the requirements? She's not a member of a sporting organization.
Oh, okay.
She don't meet the requirements.
Okay, so we have 2, Herbie Landers and Rebecca Thorne being nominated. So I guess
We got, gonna do a sticker ballot,
we can.
paper ballot.
You gonna let her
Well, we've
speak?
got all kind of relations here.
Becky's not a member of either one of the sporting dog organizations.
Yes, I am, Ducks Unlimited, Perry County chapter.
With the dog.
Perry County chapter, Ducks Unlimited.
That's not a sporting dog group. They was eliminated, the only
Do you
two.
see where it says sporting dog organization? Sporting animal. Sporting animal.
That was eliminated when they put it, the only two the commissioners accepted was the Squirrel Club and Fin Club.
Ducks
We
Unlimited is a
discussed-
sporting organization.
It was discussed back in 2011. And they said that
Kelly too.
I think we need to table
Paper
it.
ballot.
Let's look into it.
Can I please be
Yes.
recognized for a comment?
Under the microphone, please.
Okay, microphone. I've been involved in a lot of different things over the past year, and I appreciate everyone who has let me be a part of that. I would like to tell you that I have tried to approach people with different concerns, and Rebecca has been very forthcoming with me with any information. Mr. Landers approached me in the parking lot and was very rude to me. I do not feel comfortable going to him with anything. Now, I am one person as a citizen, but we all do have to work together, and I think we have a momentum going. From a public aspect with everyone involved with the animals and with the animal shelter on the other side, we can't seem to break the barrier with the people who already have it. They don't want anyone else involved. Now, regardless of what's happened in the past, I hope that can change in the future, but I do feel like it needs to go in a different direction, and we have a lot of people willing to do that, who I can tell you personally would back Tanya or Rebecca. I have no idea why Tanya isn't included, it's not my business, but I want to say personally, I've seen things being done under Rebecca. And so for me, as a public, as a citizen, I would really like to tell you that if I have to choose, I would rather work with Rebecca. No, that's just me, but I am publicly involved in a lot of things. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
Okay, do we want to vote secret ballot then?
I think we should, because we've got mother, daughter, sister-in-law, and it's undue pressure on Kelly and
I'll abstain. I have no intention of voting on that.
I mean, it's just being fair to everybody.
I can abstain also.
Okay.
Give us some paper. Chris, give us some ballots. Just need
Yes, I'm
five.
going to abstain.
That's yours.
That's yours.
That's yours.
That's Lean's.
Enough?
Yep. You'll have the court clerk come up here and
Yeah.
talk about. Rachel, could you tally the ballots?
Yep.
No, I'm teasing.
I'm gonna say, put me on the spot here. Nope, I'm out.
Send him to the auditor.
I know. Can I make some comments?
Yes.
Too late.
As the public, this is a public meeting, and as a public, we have the right to know who's being voted for. You can look it up in Robert's rules. I honestly do not know the answer to that one. I do know Robert's rules very thoroughly, but that one I don't.
I think you can vote for by ballot, secret ballot. I wouldn't swear to it. I think you can.
Like I said, I don't know.
Hey, David, talking about the Robert's rules, do we need to adopt that again this year, or is that just going forward?
No, we, like, you mean for the decorum of meetings, or?
She didn't get a copy of it, but
You should have gotten a copy.
did you get a
I'm
copy
just
tonight?
saying, do we have to vote on it?
We'll be able to probably at the first meeting in January.
Oh, we don't need it.
Okay, so not today.
Not today.
How many other people?
There's only 5.
That's Ms. Douglas. 4 for Rebecca Thorne, 1 for Herbie Flanders.
Okay, moving on. Carrollton Economic Development Commission, 1 position, 3-year term. We had 2 letters of interest, John Mark Paulin and Jesse Watkins.
Make a motion, we put John Mark Paulin, he's put a lot of time and effort over the last several years up there counting, still buying buildings and trying his best. He's a part of the new restaurant that opened up there at County, and he's also bought the old St. Michael's School?
I'll second that.
He's
Any other nominations?
Go to nomination.
Seeing none, all those in favor of John Mark Paulin as the Economic Development Commission person, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, I think, it's 7-0. Okay, we did not receive any letters for Parks and Recreation Board. This is a political affiliation, has to be of the Democrat Party, so we need to, I guess, re-advertise that and
Can I ask a
try that
question
again.
on that?
Yes.
Which one of the board members is supposed to be going off? Because I brought it up, I'm on the Parks Board on the Republican appointment, but I brought it up at our last meeting, and nobody was even aware that,
Brett Lettering was the name I
I
got.
think it was Brett
Okay.
Lettering.
because nobody knew who it was.
Who sets where their meetings are at? Is that a commissioner?
The Moose Lodge,
I didn't ask where it was, I said, who's established at? I think that's totally inappropriate for a county organization to have
the Parks Board Director moved it out there.
I think it's wrong, I think it's,
Where did they,
We wasn't getting anybody showing up here.
well, I mean, you get a whole bunch of people show up at the Moose,
Well, every once in a while, I have 2 or 3 show up.
well, it's county business, I think it needs to be done in the county building.
so that was just
I mean,
changed
that's-
recently?
6 months ago, maybe.
Oh, so it was recently.
Yeah.
I don't know if the commissioners need to deal with that, or if we need to deal with it, but it needs to be, or it needs to be handled internal. But that's totally, I think, inappropriate to have it at a private club. Some people may think they're not allowed to come to the meeting because it's a private club.
That's true.
It needs to be
Well,
moved.
I found out, I came out here one night for the meeting, and stood around, and waited, nobody showed up, and I called, and they changed the location. So,
Well, I just, and I'm not sure that your meetings aren't, shouldn't be public broadcast to where people know what's going on at the parks.
that's been asked before, but
And I'm not sure you can do that at the Moose. I just think, something you need to bring up at your meeting.
Okay, we'll re-advertise that. Take a look at that later. Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals, political affiliation. This is 2 positions, 1-year term. There are 3 appointments by the commissioners and 2 by the council, and you can have not more than 3 of any party. I think the commissioners
They
did
put 2
put 2
Democrats.
Democrats and 1 Republican.
No, they put 2 Democrats.
I said 2 Democrats and 1 Republican.
Yeah, but they put 2 Democrats. They didn't put a Republican on.
They did.
Oh, yeah,
They did?
okay, my bad, yeah. Sorry.
All right. Okay, so we have Kelly Harding, Amanda Litherland, and Courtney Casepole. Kelly is Republican, Amanda is Democrat, and Courtney is Republican.
We doing these one at a time, or both 2 at one time?
You can do it however.
I make a motion, we put Kelly and Courtney on there.
I'll second that.
Any other nominations? Seeing none, we will vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Next, we have Redevelopment Commission, 2 positions, 1-year term. We have a John Shearer, William Dickerson, Rick May, and Greg Darbo.
We'll do them 2 at one time?
Yep.
John Shearer and William Dickerson, just to leave they've got things, so much stuff started that they need to continue to roll with that subdivision and what have you. Bill's worked hard, John's worked even harder probably.
I'd like to nominate John Shearer and Greg Jarbo.
Secret ballot.
You want to take them one at a time?
Well, we'll have to vote on that, I guess the first. Motion?
What's the first motion, John Shearer?
John Shearer and Bill Dickerson.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor, John and Bill Dickerson? Raise your-
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Nay? All right, was that 7-0? The ayes have it. That concludes our external appointments. I thank everybody for applying. And if you didn't get appointed, don't come back next year, or when you have one available, and try again.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
And you will re-advertise that on the
Yes.
website, I guess, or in the newspaper, or how does that work? For the
We've been doing it on the
Just on the
website.
Just on the website.
Will you do that?
Yes, I
It cannot be a Republican, so an independent or a Democrat.
Okay, let me mark that.
Okay, our internal appointments, first one we have is American Rescue Plan Advisory Committee. The 2 positions by virtue of office currently being held by, well, Keith Hutt and Charlie Ballmaster, who no longer is on our board.
I'll keep Keith on. I nominate Keith.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Keith, signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, and which board is this? I missed that.
ARP, make a motion to, for Stan to join us on that ARP board.
I'll second that.
Who seconded it? You did? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. So
Welcome aboard.
Congratulations, Keith and Stan.
Sure. I've seen results.
Our next internal appointment is the Community Corrections Advisory Board and Local Justice Reinvestment Advisory Council. One position, member of fiscal body, currently is held by Danny Bolin, who is no longer a councilman. So we need to,
I'd like to know exactly what this is.
well,
Community corrections,
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of things that community corrections does, with meeting with the schools and with the prosecutor's office and stuff like that. And I believe the sheriff's department is part of it as well.
Yes.
With
yeah.
meeting. So
It's basically with the community correction, like Tracy and Karen and Donna. And then they meet like once every 2 months, I believe, at the courthouse at 4 o'clock usually. That lasts maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, it depends on what it is. But it's to discuss community corrections and what's going on with their grants and things like that.
Thank you.
Going on there, Earl?
Sure.
I nominate Earl.
I second.
all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is that
Motion
second Kelly
carried.
or Lynn? I can't tell.
Lynn.
Lynn.
Sorry.
Congratulations.
I gotta learn voices, because.
Our next,
Yeah, it's too quiet.
next appointment is Emergency Management Advisory Council, one position, 2-year term by virtue of office. That is normally the president of the council.
I'll nominate you, David. That way, that means you're gonna be
I'll
the
second
president
it,
for 2
too.
more years, that way.
Not necessarily, but
Yeah.
that's possible.
Sounds like a plan.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried, 7-0. Indiana 15 Regional Planning Commission, one position, 1-year term by virtue of office. I currently serve on that, but if someone else wants it, that's fine with me, and I think we have someone interested in that.
I nominate Kelly.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, 7-0. You vote for yourself?
Yeah.
Sure, she is. She's coming around, David.
Next, we have
She's in shock.
Perry County Development Corporation, one director, a 3-year term by virtue of office, currently held by Erla, one delegate, 1-year term by virtue of office. Also, right now it's Charlie Baumeister, and the director can also be this appointment also. They can serve dual.
I'll make a motion, we keep Erla as director for,
I second that.
And I would nominate Kelly.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have Erla and we have Kelly. How do you want to do this?
show hands.
All those in favor of Erla? All those in favor of Kelly?
Aye.
3-2. Kelly? Plan Commission.
No, we got the delegate.
Oh,
delegate.
Delegate. Okay. Anybody interested in serving as a delegate to the Perry County Development Corporation?
I'll nominate Earl. Keep her still in the mix with that group.
Yeah.
Do you have a second?
I'll second. Oh, sorry.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 7-0.
And Kelly, I checked on this, the delegate can go to the meeting, so if you ever can't make a meeting,
Okay,
just let me know.
that's great. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Mhm.
Personnel Policy Committee, 2 positions, 1-year term. Currently, David and Lynn.
Stay there.
I can.
I nominate David and Kelly.
Or,
Yeah, that's fine.
Need a second?
I'll second.
Lynn said second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. 7-0. Plan Commission, 1 position, by virtue of office, currently Charlie Baumeister.
Or nominate. I don't know if you want to do it, Keith, but I nominate Keith.
Give it a shot.
Charlie can do it, you could.
I've got that job whipped. I'll accept.
We're teasing, right?
Exactly, absolutely teasing, Charlie.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Is the second on that? I got Kelly as the first.
Who seconded that?
Who seconded that?
You
I think
say
it's
that.
Stan.
Lynn?
Yeah, I second
Dan did that.
Our next position is Solid Waste Management District Board, one appointment by virtue of office, currently Paul Malone. Do you wish to continue in that position, or do you want someone else?
Well, let's see what happens.
Throw it up.
I
I'll
nominate Paul Malone.
I second that.
I'll nominate Stan.
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor of Paul Malone, raise your right hand. I'll vote for Paul. All those in favor of Keith?
Me?
I mean, Stan?
Me.
Oh, 3. You didn't vote.
I'll vote Dave, you better have Ken.
Oh, 4. 4 to 3. Well, that's all the board appointments.
And I was the same vote. Who had 4? Who had 4?
Paul won 4 to 3.
Darn, going so fast and the mics aren't working.
It's easier to hear.
I don't know if we should do this now, probably so. Rod has expressed interest of continue as our attorney, so I think we probably need to vote on that.
I don't know, I'm kind of like Kelly.
Motion, we keep Rod as attorney.
Have a second?
Has the contract changed?
No.
The fees, you've accepted to what we offered you?
No, it would be the same.
It'd be what we budgeted you?
For last year.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Stand up a minute.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Security board.
Miscellaneous.
This morning in the commissioners meeting, they discussed the, I'm drawing a blank. Security.
Or the opening of the courthouse.
Security for the opening of the courthouse. Advisory board, where it is a commissioner, council member, EMA, sheriff, advisory committee.
Just somebody, yeah, just something to represent the council.
Somebody to represent the council on that board or on that committee.
So we need to probably vote this. I think Keith is expressing interest, so
I'll nominate Keith.
I'll second that.
all those in favor, electing Keith to the Security Advisory Board, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Now you're miscellaneous public comments.
Our next meeting will be, is it January the 26th? Is that the right date?
Yes.
At 5 o'clock.
Say that again, January 26th.
Yeah, 5 o'clock
5 o'clock.
here.
PM.
PM.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
I forgot to write down when